Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a good Monday so far. It's been a minute since I come up on here and done a live stream, but here we are. I'm back today. We're going to talk about Philadelphia Eagles draft, and we're going to recap that. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the Sixers Celtics series, which starts tonight at the TD Garden in Boston with Game 1. All right, now that was a quick sound check right there. But now let's get into it. And as you see, those of you guys coming in, I got a poll on this there with the asking what letter grade would you give the Eagles draft. Now, I know the final option seems ridiculous. I just threw it on there. Maybe some people might troll and pick the final option, but yeah, nevertheless, let's get into it. Yep, we're fresh off the 2023 NFL draft. And the Eagles certainly had an impactful draft, certainly. Made a lot of moves. A lot of changes going on. You had some big pickups there. You had a trade. And we're going to get into it and talk about it. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Here we go. The Philadelphia Eagles 2023 NFL draft. I'm going to talk about the main ones here. We're going to talk about that. Let's get into it. Eagles, we wasted no time getting right into it. Initially, we had the number 10 pick, but we traded up one spot for the number 9 pick. Right after the Falcons took Bijan Robinson at 8, we were like, uh-oh. You know, the Eagles had their eyes on Jalen Carter, but they're like, uh-oh, he might go. Because Bijan was another guy that was a considered prospect, but I think it's possible. Maybe Bijan was their original plan, but when they saw him go and they realized, oh, there's one more pick, Jalen could go next, referring to Jalen Carter, so they moved up. That might be what happened, but long story short, they moved up to number 9 slot. Excuse me, I apologize. I had to sneeze real quickly. Yeah, they got Jalen Carter from Georgia at the number 9 spot in a repeat of last year's draft. Getting a defensive line from Georgia Bulldogs, the once again defending NCAA football national champion Georgia Bulldogs. Now, Jalen Carter should be a good pickup. This could be, you could be talking down the line, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis wrecking havoc on that defensive line for the Eagles. This is definitely a big one right here. This could definitely be something big if he pans out. Because he could go out there, ball out. Now, he might early on, for rookie year, Carter might be used as a rotational piece. Jordan Davis might get more snaps and more opportunities this season than he did his rookie year last year. Maybe Jalen Carter gives a rotational guy rookie year, then next season, as in 2024, he starts to get used. That could be possible as well. But however, Jalen Carter, yeah, there's plenty of upside right there. He's a similar package to a Jordan Davis. Be a run stopper, could be a blitzer. There's definitely some good possibilities there on the defense to help get some pressure up front and make some stops of the run game quickly with him. And if Jordan Davis does pan out, that could be a deadly, in a figurative sense, 1-2 duo at the defensive line. That could make it tougher for defenses to move around. Could be kind of a similar dynamic to Reggie White and Jerome Brown in the modern time if Carter lives up to the hype. And same with Jordan Davis as well. Yeah, as long as the guys live up to the hype, that could be good right there. But with Jalen Carter, there is the downside, though. He is coming off a serious off-field situation with the DUI. You know, he also caused his death of one of his teammates. And he did have a poor combine performance, which made some people skeptical, like, uh-oh, I don't know. Now, if things start to turn around, he starts to, starts to pan it out. He gets his attitude, gets everything checked together. Things could go well. But, however, if he, has some issues, you're hoping that it's not a Lawrence Phillips situation. You remember Lawrence Phillips from the Rams, the running back who had trouble? Vermeil took a chance on him, but it didn't last, and he had to eventually cut him. You're hoping that Jalen Carter doesn't have that. You're hoping that he turns things around. He's actually a valuable piece for this Philadelphia Eagles team. Yeah, but on paper, this could work out really well. This has a lot of potential to help out. I mean, you're talking about a team that was 3 points shy of winning the Super Bowl last season. They're bringing in a guy that could be a potential contributing factor at the defensive line down the line in the seasons to come, along with all the other pieces we have here. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown on the offensive side, and maybe DeAndre Swift ends up lasting in Philadelphia longer. Who knows? But I'll get to that in a little bit too. That's another thing got to talk about. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of upside, but there could be, but we'll have to see how it pans out. And speaking of Georgia Bulldogs in the first round with the number 30 pick, which we initially had, we got linebacker Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith is an edge rusher linebacker. He's one of the smaller guys for his position, but you know what? He can make plays. He can get pressure on the QB. And I see there is some potential comparisons here with Nolan Smith, maybe to a Micah Parsons or Hassan Reddick, which that works out great right there because you got Hassan Reddick, right, who's already, we know, we saw what he did with that Eagles defense right there, getting after the QB, getting a bunch of sacks, having just balling out for the Eagles, having his best season. And now you put Nolan Smith, a guy with a similar package there with Hassan Reddick, that could really help him out with this transition to the pro level. Because Hassan Reddick could be a great source of influence for him. He can figuratively pick Hassan Reddick's brain when it comes to football and learn from him. And he could also be a similar type of player to Hassan Reddick. Now, there's some potential upside with Nolan Smith. Some people took a pass on him, thought he was too small for that linebacker. But guess what? Smaller players in skill positions being dominant has become more frequent on a regular basis in the NFL. No different there for those edge rushers, such as a Nolan Smith. Of course, always puts, he has a good mental toughness. And of course, he's good at being able, flatten rushers. He's a good bending, flatten rusher. And right, I'm thinking this could really work out right here. And plus, the one good thing about Nolan Smith, he doesn't seem to have the same concern with Jalen Carter, because Jalen Carter, you do have the off-the-field stuff. That is a concern that you're hoping doesn't end up coming to bite the Eagles years from now. You're hoping that it all works out. You're hoping it's not, like, what's his name again? What did I just name again? The running back. Was it Lawrence Phillips? That's right. Yeah, you're hoping it's not another Lawrence Phillips situation right there, in terms of someone with potential, but his character gets best of him. Let's just hope that's not the case with Jalen Carter. And with Nolan Smith, it doesn't look like that's likely. So there's the potential of 2 hits right there in the first round from Georgia. And of course, we got other notable picks. I'm going to talk about Tyler Steen. We got that pick. We got number 65 from the Texans. And we got an offensive lineman, Steen. Now, he's not he doesn't scream star right off the bat. He doesn't scream, even, he's from Alabama. He doesn't scream, oh, this is going to be great. This guy's going to, be the next big offensive lineman. But he could be a rotational piece, maybe a depth piece that eventually works his way up to the starting lineup. But hey, it's good because it helped. We do need some younger pieces on the line too. I mean, no offense to Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey. Those are two still definitely very capable and still star-level offensive linemen. But, however, those guys aren't going to be there forever. So you do need some younger pieces that are ready when Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey step down, or if they go to another team in the later stages of their career, you need replacements for them. Definitely, I do think Tyler Steen, it's good that they at least took a chance on a guard. And, in Alabama in 2022, he played 469 snaps and he only allowed 2 sacks. Now, if he molded right behind that offensive line, which he could be, because, again, you already have a lot of talent on this Eagles team. That's why this can be a good place for guys like Tyler Steen, like Nolan Smith, to learn from the veterans who are experienced, who can still go. Guys like Smith, Steen, Carter, they can trust these veterans and learn from them. And there's the potential some of these guys could pan out. Now, do I think everyone's going to pan out? No, of course not. Some guys just might be average. Some guys might just be career backups. Injuries could play a factor. I mean, I'm just got to be realistic here. I don't know. Not everyone you draft can pan out. But there's at least some potential with some of their first 3 picks right here, which is an upside. Now, we'll ultimately have to see with Steen. Like I said, rookie year, I expect him to be a rotational piece. We'll have to see. And then maybe he could work his way up to the starting lineup at some point, or maybe he might be a rotational piece for a few years. We'll see, though. Ultimately, time will tell on him. And then the 3rd round, we got Sidney Brown, safety. That was a pick we got from the Cardinals. Sidney Brown from Illinois. Now, he's interesting. Now, he came from... Now, his father, his father was Darren Isaac. He played in the CFL for 3 seasons. Now, he grew up in Canada. He came over to the United States, played college ball at Illinois. He was a leader in the Big Ten in 2022, 6 INTs. And in the game against Northwestern, he recorded interception return for a touchdown and recorded a fumble for a touchdown, which was a key highlight from there. Now, part of the reason it looks like the Eagles took Sidney Brown is they like his character. He has a lot of humility. Because apparently, he grew up dirt poor, and he still kept that humility with him, all that hard work he had to put in just to make it to the NFL despite being impoverished. So he's more of a character pick. Now, I don't know if he's going to pan out at the next level. That'll be the interesting one, but I guess the Eagles figured he's there. He seems like a likable guy. Maybe it's best to put him there with Slay and those guys. He can work with the secondary guys like Slay, Bradbury, learn from them. You're hoping it works out. Now, with Sidney Brown, though, a big thing that concerns me, makes me think he might not pan out. I hope I'm wrong, but he was not the most knowledgeable about the NFL. He caught on to football. He kind of got onto football a little late, got the offer to play college football, and he knew obviously the NFL was bigger than the CFL, so he knew, hey, that NFL is an opportunity for me to provide more income, to build myself more financial stability, which I'm not knocking him for. I'm just saying, though, that he might not have all the NFL smarts that some of these players who've been around football in the United States their entire lives, that studied the NFL from a young age, practiced, that played football, dedicated their entire times, JV, varsity, high school, college, like a Peyton Manning, even though it's an entirely different position, but I'm just giving you an example. He doesn't have that backstory to him. So there is some concern that being that he was a little late to catch on to North American football. He might be a little bit behind catching on to the concepts of the NFL. And that that could be maybe a bit of what's the word I'm looking? That could be trouble right there. Maybe he might struggle to catch on a little bit. I hope that's not true, but we'll ultimately have to see. And that's, but yeah, you got to just hope that Sidney Brown being behind the right guys there in the secondary, working with those veterans like Slay, Bradbury, helps him out. But Sidney Jones, not Sidney Jones, excuse me, Sidney Brown, I'm not the highest on him. But we will have to see how it pans out. And you got the 4th round, Keely Ringo, defensive back from Georgia, another Bulldog. Hey, he's got, he's going to be there with some guys he played with before. He got guys like Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. Also, he played with guys, such as Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. So he's got some familiarity and some chemistry with his teammates. That's a good thing. And there's some respected veterans there. So this could help these guys work out. Now, ultimately, we'll have to see what he can do, what Ringo can do at the next level. Yes, he's had a few highlights here from college here and there. He had 7 pass breakups, which is his main highlight. But ultimately, we'll have to see how does he transition to the next level. I mean, it's too early to tell now, but it's interesting to see. And then some of the other picks he had 6th round quarterback Tanner McKee. Obviously, he's just there to fill a roster spot. Let's face it. let's be honest, the chances that he plays are extremely unlikely in a regular season game. Chances are he'll see preseason action at best. And then our last pick with 249 in the seventh round, got Moro Agamo from the Detroit Lions as part of the trade where we got DeAndre Swift, which I'll get to him in a second. But that just seems like a depth piece there at the defensive line. Usually those late picks, they don't really pan out to be much, but sometimes you never know. Sometimes you get those late picks that turn out to be Hall of Famers like Shannon Sharp. Obviously, that's a different era, different position, different team, all that. But hey, point is, sometimes you never know with these sixth and seventh rounders what happens. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see how these guys pan out. Now, obviously, there's a few that stands out right now. Like I said, Carter, Smith, Steen, Sidney Brown, Ringo, or those are the main guys that caught my attention in some way. The last two picks didn't really catch my attention, but you never know what might happen. Hey, that's that. But yeah, so I think personally, this is a nice little draft right here, especially the early portion. We added a few pieces right there. You got Jalen Carter that can make up for the loss of Javon Hargrave right there. Nolan Smith, he can be effective alongside Hassan Reddick. Fill that spot we need at linebacker because we don't have TJ Edwards and Kaiser White. Didn't quite work out as we had hoped for it. But you're hoping that Nolan Smith works out in that spot. And then you try to get some depth at safety. Took a chance on Sidney Brown and Keely Ringo. We'll have to ultimately see how those guys pan out. And then, of course, we got the trade where DeAndre Swift. Now, DeAndre Swift did flash some potential with the Lions there. We saw last season, especially week 1, we played the Lions. We saw some potential there from Swift. He's a guy that can definitely help out. Now you got DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott as our main 3 backs right now. Now, the thing is with Rashad Penny, while we know the guy can play, and he's certainly capable at the NFL level, the one concern is injuries. Can Rashad Penny stay healthy? And I think the Eagles realized, okay, yes, we got ourselves some talent here. We like the talent in Rashad Penny, but we know that injuries can play a factor. So it's a risk, kind of a hit or miss situation. So they decided get DeAndre Swift as a backup plan, who's still young, and they saw that the Lions weren't fully sold on him, so they fit. So Howie Roseman, paying very close attention to other teams' business, paying attention to good talent that management on other teams might not be fully sold on, is like, I'll take a peek. I'll take a shot. Come on, Detroit. I'll take a shot with this guy. We'll take him. Yep, and Howie Roseman, being that guy, decided, all right, let's take a shot with DeAndre Swift. But here's the thing now what's funny about it is we got all these Georgia Bulldogs now in the Philadelphia Eagles. And we saw Philadelphia Bulldogs trending. I mean, I did a short video on my channel yesterday joking about the Philadelphia Bulldogs, doing a few barks. You can find that on my channel. Yeah, after the DeAndre Swift trade went through. Or was that? No, actually, yesterday or Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Excuse me for not remembering. Yeah, it was Saturday. I apologize. But yeah. But hey, we got a ton of Georgia Bulldogs right here. Obviously, someone's paying attention to that team over there and what they're doing at college, and they're interested. Somebody in that front office is a big Georgia Bulldogs fan for sure. We got all those pieces from that team in. And you know what I think it part has to do with? It has to do with the success of the 2019 LSU team. Because you had all those pieces from that 2019 LSU team that came up to the NFL and have been successful so far in one way or another. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, when healthy, has been successful. Joe Burrow has been a star for the Cincinnati Bengals, made that team relevant again, got them back to a Super Bowl. Of course, you got Jamar Chase, has been a top weapon for Burrow on the Bengals, the NFL level. Justin Jefferson's been balling out for the Vikings, made the Eagles regret picking Jalen Reagor. So, but I think the Eagles are looking at that, seeing what LSU did, and seeing how all those guys have had some level of success at the pros, and they're hoping that the same thing pans out with the Georgia Bulldogs. So I think that's having some influence too. Eagles hoping for the same thing. Now, time will tell if it actually works out for the Eagles getting all these Bulldogs from those championship teams on their roster at the NFL. Time will tell if that's actually going to work out or not. I mean, obviously, we got all the jokes running around, but hey, we still got to wait to see what happens when these guys step on the field. Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, we still really don't know what they're going to do yet. We didn't see a whole lot of them their rookie years. And I think now with some of the pieces we lost in free agency, we'll get to see more of those guys. Now, I'm thinking maybe Jalen Carter might be a bit of a rotational piece his rookie year, and Jordan Davis will get more snaps out of the two of them. And Nolan Smith, he's probably going to get more playing time, I think, than Carter, or he's going to get more playing time this upcoming season than Nakobe Dean did last year. And with that being said, I do think Nakobe Dean will get more playing time. Hey, ultimately, we will have to tell. Time will see how this plays out. But so far, it looks like a good draft on paper. And then I did put the poll question asking you guys, what letter grade would you give that draft? A, B, C. Then I put D or F. I don't think anyone's going to vote for that final option unless they're trolling. But hey, the poll's up on the YouTube side of it. You can vote on the poll. Right. Yep. But hey, like I said, we can talk all day, but it ain't going to matter come get season time. So I'm not going to talk too much. However, as you can tell by the title, and if you see the background picture on the screen, there's other sports related subjects I want to talk about. That is the Philadelphia 76ers and Boston Celtics playoff series. All right, it is the Eastern Conference semifinals in the NBA. We had yesterday game one between the Miami Heat and New York Knicks. In the other Eastern Conference series, Heat won, but Jimmy Butler got a serious ankle injury. That could be a blow for the Heat going forward, especially if the swelling on the ankle is bad for Jimmy and cause him to miss some time. I think the best thing for them to do, Jimmy to do, is to just rest a day or two, let the swelling go down. If you heaven forbid he has to miss one game in game two, maybe he misses one game, then he comes back game three. But hey, point being is though, yeah, you got the Heat and Knicks going on right now, and then you got the Sixers Celtics start tonight at the TD Garden in Boston for game one. Obviously, the Celtics, hey, they've got our number, Obviously, they made it to the finals last year. They usually go further in the playoffs than we do. They've been to several conference finals. We haven't made it past the second round in years. Last time we did that was 2001. And hey, the Celtics are the favorites going into this series. I dropped a short on this late last week if the Celtics beat the Hawks in game 6, pointing out that, look, these guys are the favorites, and Embiid's coming into this with a bruised knee. But hey, he's had some time to rest, and so far it's only a bruise, so he should still be able to go in this series. Now, he is questionable for tonight. Last time I checked, and I am hoping that he can play all the games because we need Embiid to play to win this series. We definitely need Embiid to have a chance. That's the main thing we need. And look, we're going up against, or at this point, the top team in the Eastern Conference. Especially with the Bucks being out the picture, you got the Celtics are the top team. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon company. Hey, they have some nice pieces there on that team, and they're fresh off a finals appearance, so they're definitely the favorites. And for us, who struggle to make it past the second round, with that being our kryptonite, we're definitely the underdogs for sure. And so we got to have our MVP Embiid in there to really have a chance of winning this series. He's got to be able to go consistently, stay on the court, play at a top level, make his shots, get his blocks. And you know what? That's definitely the main thing we got to have. And also, some other keys to this here. James Harden has to show up. We know James Harden has a history of mentally no-showing playoff games, especially big-time playoff games throughout his career. We can't be having that this time around. We cannot have a James Harden who mentally no-shows this series. Because if James Harden's really serious about getting that ring to his legacy, if that's something he really wants to do, then he's definitely got to step up and do things differently than he's done in the past and come playoff time. That's another key we're going to need right there. Of course, Tyrese Maxey, he's going to have to stay healthy. He's going to have to ball out for us to stand a chance in this series right here against this Celtics team. Oh, yeah, so there's definitely definitely those are some of the things we need to stand a chance in this series right here against the Celtics. Definitely, we got to do that, make it happen here. I mean, we're talking about a good possibility that this could go 6-7 games either way. So this team's got to be prepared to play at a top level 6-7 games. And also, we definitely need some help from the bench. Okay, George Niang, talking to you. We need some help from you right there. Montrezl Harrell, come on, step up. You're a former 6th man of the year. Got to step up in this situation. I'm also, talking to even other guys, the Anthony Meltons, Jalen McDaniels. Hey, you guys got to step up here. In this case, Jalen McDaniels, you're supposed to be that upgrade for the bench. We need you to be on that point this series. And another player that's got to step up, Tobias Harris. He's one of those hot and cold type players right there. Sometimes he'll be hot, he'll play good, but other times he'll just, the way he plays will make you shake your head at him. But we definitely need it. Tobias Harris has to step up for us to have a chance in this series. So, yeah, we need this team to be on point. We need the appropriate rotations, too, at the right time. We can't be letting our bench guys get destroyed, especially if we're up on a run. If they start to inch in, make it closer, call a timeout, get the starters back in there. But, yeah, we got to go smart with our rotations, got to be prepared to play fast-paced. And, everyone's got to bring their A game, especially on offense against this team, stand a chance at winning the series and pulling off the upset. But, yeah, we will have to see what happens. Game 1's tonight at the TD Garden. We'll ultimately have to see how it plays out. And so best of luck to the Sixers. Let's hope they can get this W, move past the second round. That way I can shut up about this team not being able to make it past the second round. That's all I got to say about the Sixers for now. I'll definitely be back to talk more about it as the series goes along. And before I end this stream, now this is where I'm going to show my face. Got the Eagles banner in the background. You got that Muhammad Ali poster over there. Yeah, that's from my job right there, the other one. But yeah, let's get right into it, shall we? All right, so yeah, so I hit 1K uploads. That's right, 1,000 uploads on YouTube. This stream being 1,002. I dropped a short earlier that made it 1,001. Now, so to everyone that too has been watching my channel, rocking with my content, come to my live streams, watching my shorts, let me hop on their streams. Thank you. I enjoy the interaction with you guys, reading what you guys have to say. You guys are the ones that keep me on YouTube doing this, and I appreciate that. So cheers to 1,000 uploads. With the rest of the water in there. Thank you. And until next time, Nicky Stees signing off.